to know that this Shabbos, when we left Egypt, that particular year, it was the same like this year. We walked out of Egypt Wednesday night. It's very special. And Shabbos before, according to our Kabbalistic tradition, the light which comes down during the week is really coming down on Shabbos, on the Sabbath. So this Shabbos, a slave doesn't even know how holy a human being is, right? So on this Shabbos, God revealed to us not only how holy God is, how holy we are. Friend, there's a passage that says, Va'ato, and now, Mo Hashem Elokecho, Shoyel Meimcha. What is God asking of you? There's a long list. But listen to the way our holy Kabbalah is translating every word of the Bible. Mo Hashem Elokecho. What God means to you, Shoyel Meimcha. This is what God is asking of you. You know what I'm asking of myself? Whatever I think God is, that's what I have to think of myself, ask of myself. If I ask of myself to make a few rubles and have a television and live happily, that means this is all I'm asking of God. This is my God image, right? So you know what happened to us? While we were in Egypt, the greatest thing we thought God can do is get us out of Egypt. But on this Shabbos we realize that's all God can do. That's nothing, that's just the beginning. You know what we can do? Not only to be free. To be free is just the poor beginning. After you're free. After you're free. What a world. How much power God is giving us. Just listen, friends, between all of us. Whatever I think God can do, this is what I can do. Whatever I think God can do, all of us, we can do it. So. Leningrad and Moscow and Riga and Krakow They sing the song of Shabbos. In cold Siberia, this is what keeps them warm. They sing the song of Shabbos. Let's teach the whole world to sing the song of Shabbos.
It's hard to be a Jew. So goes the folk saying. Hard to live up to what that means. Things are expected of you. Sabbath is Saturday, when other people are working or playing. If one keeps the dietary, the kosher laws, then one may have to excuse oneself from eating where other people are eating. It's inconvenient to be a Jew. There are observances, traditions to keep, which are different from other people's. If you are Orthodox, then you must walk to the synagogue for Sabbath or holidays, no matter how far.
CBS News presents Look Up and Live. Today, to be a Jew. One experience in the Jewish search for identity, filmed last year in Israel.
Let me tell you that identity is not only a Jewish crisis, it's a world crisis. Our young people are part of this tremendous world crisis. I mean, obviously civilization is bankrupt, right? Culture is bankrupt. We're sending our kids to school and nothing happens. They're not coming out any more human than they were before. But especially for us Jewish people, since tell you something very strong. For 2,000 years we were in ghettos, right? And we were holding on to our Jewishness so deep, give us so much strength. Then suddenly we came out of ghettos and we thought we'll assimilate a little bit more or less, you know? So we lost the Jewish strength and we thought we'd get strength from the world. Then the world really gave us really over the head, killing 6 million Jews. So suddenly our kids are really left, they don't have enough Jewishness to be strong, and they definitely don't feel that the world can give them strength because the world turned their back to them, killed their own brothers and sisters, 6 million. And again, their parents don't give them anything Jewish, you know. The saddest thing as far as I'm concerned, okay, so God took us back to the Holy Land. But still, you know, the old generation still is not ready to admit that we really have to be Jews. Our children want to be Jews. So our kids come to Israel and they're just so hungry for something Jewish. And you see them walking the streets of Jerusalem, you know, just really waiting for a revelation. We'd like to gather those kids and give them strong injections. You see, the way Jewishness was given to them by their parents, meaningless, you know, shallow, watered down, you know, a compromising kind of Judaism. You know. The world is ready for something strong. I mean, all over the world, kids want to know, who am I? How come I'm Chinese? Why am I Japanese? Why am I black? Why am I white? But I don't think that any young people feel it as much as Jewish kids because we left our Jewishness to become world, and the world really like killed us right in front of us. You know, everybody knows that on Shabbos we greet the angels, and our angels are our children.
Shabbat, Shabbos, or the Sabbath, is a focal point in Jewishness. An experiment in Jerusalem, assisted by the New York Board of Rabbis, was held last summer with students from Israel, Europe, and the United States to come to grips to meet this search for identity. Shabbos House is a symbol of a continuing dialogue between man and man in Jerusalem, a city connected with the central meaning of Jewishness. For 2 weeks in August, an experience in Jewish tradition, thought, and study was conducted at Shabbos House, in a place which is only a 10-minute walk from the remaining wall of the Temple of Solomon, the Western Wall. The wall is a symbol of the continuing will to survive. Among the leaders of the experiment was Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, who approaches worship and identity through song. In Jewish tradition, singing, chanting, speaking, weaving together biblical text, Talmudic lore, and life is a form of dialogue between people, between man and God.
When do I know myself? The deepest depths of me. That's on Shabbos. On Shabbos is a great day when God reveals himself to us. On Shabbos is a great day when we are revealed to ourselves. And then suddenly, whatever we want is so deep and so holy and so gentle, deepest depth there is. And then in Chaltonu, this is very, very beautiful. You know, in Hebrew, friends, a heritage, Nachalo, actually comes from the word Nachal, river. River. Because its heritage is like a river, you know, it belongs to my grandfather, it belongs to my father, it belongs to me, it belongs to my children. But also there's something, if I inherit something from God, it's even deeper than God is giving it to me. It's flowing down to me. That's what Shabbos is. The great and holy day, the great day we hope the whole world will be filled with it someday.
Identity is a little bit knowing who you are and what you are. I mean, where you are and what your background is and what your people are and where you come from is a major part of what makes up a person. And so identity is more or less...
This is very beautiful. The Gemara says that if you keep Shabbos, even if, God forbid, you would be the lowest person in the world, on Shabbos you're uplifted to the highest level. Even if you, God forbid, a pagan. How come that Shabbos turns me on? Shabbos is talking to me, right? Shabbos is my teacher, my greatest teacher is Shabbos. Why is Shabbos so strong on talking to me? Because Shabbos is so peaceful with me. As much as all the holy deeds I'm doing for God, all the mitzvahs, everything is peace, you know, very holy, but it doesn't compare to Shabbos. When Shabbos comes, Mama, Shabbos itself begins to talk to me, and Shabbos begins to turn me on. Now this is very beautiful. You know, on Shabbos we are on the level of bliss, Onik Shabbos, not on the level of joy. Maybe some of you kids remember this is very, very strong. That if I get something, you know, I didn't have it before, and I get it, I'm filled with joy. We were in Egypt, God gave us freedom, we feel joy. On Shavuos, God gave us the commandments, we feel joy. Shabbos is on the level of bliss. Shabbos is tell you something very deep, you know. Imagine if suddenly someone could take the biggest fool and make him clever. Would he feel joy or bliss? Bliss, right? If you can make a mensch out of me, you can take a low creeper and make a human being out of him. This little creeper will not be happy. It'll be bliss, right? Gewalt, you know? You see, all the mitzvahs, everything in the Torah is giving us something, making us better, adding something to it.
Sometimes I worry that a lot of the kids who come here, it's much easier for them, really, in Israel, where everyone is Jewish, to forget really that they're a Jew, or especially even to discover that they're a Jew for the first time. And hopefully at a place like the Shabbos house, if it isn't in, that they are a Jew. And from there it will lead to finding out just what it means to be a Jew. Either whether they decide to stay here in Zion or whether they decide to go outside of Israel, to go back to the diaspora, to go back to Chutz La'aretz. At least that by coming here and spending...
It has to be so strong, this Jewishness, that nothing in the world should move them, to un-Jewish them. On the other hand, it has to be completely connected to every human being in the world. So the only way of doing it is it has to be so deep, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that we have to dig out the deepest depths of our religion, the deepest depths of our knowing the world. You know what I call a house of God? As a house of God is when you walk in, you know somebody loves you. When you walk out, you know there's somebody who misses you. And you should see a lot of kids walked in like they weren't sure if somebody likes them. You know, when they walk out, they were really shining. Because it only takes one good friend to make you want to stay in the world.
Setting up, most of us are a little misinformed. Because most people think the deepest preparation of Yom Kippur is, Mama, you feel so guilty. You feel so guilty, you don't even have the strength to call up your therapist. Because, you see, you're so worthless that you don't even deserve to spend a quarter on a phone call. You know why we make so many mistakes and feel so guilty? Because we forgot really how holy we are. And we forgot completely that God is leading us by the hand. Anybody who knows a little bit what the Kippur is, it's a day when we have so much love in the air because we forgive each other, because we know God forgives us. So the Emma and I decided tonight is a time to celebrate our mistakes. Because obviously if God lets me make all those mistakes, it's just to learn something from it. You see, I cannot let my child jump off the roof because, God forbid, the jumping off, I cannot save her. God lets us jump off the roof because He's standing there and holding us. And let's sing some more songs. So tonight, those few minutes we're here, I'm begging you, all of us, let's just be so happy for everything wrong we're doing.
So, Shalom, my beautiful friends, brothers and sisters, wherever you are. And I was just singing with you, Lula Teroska Shashur, Master of the world. You know, my beautiful friends, you all know so much, but it was always one word which keeps us alive. We have so many friends, hopefully, but what we need most is one friend who keeps us alive. Between husband and wife, parents and children, we see each other all the time. What keeps us alive is one moment, the deepest moment in the world. My friend Nachman Elbaum, my dear Tools, and his brother-in-law, Carlebach, Mama Shvili was the first music tour Jewish music tour in Russia. It's unbelievable. You see what it is, because the money went for the victims of the earthquake in Armenia.
Mm-hmm.
So the government was really interested in our concerts. The whole thing was really organized by the government in Russia at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable opening. And they hired the hall, and they ran the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning, one of the KGB men came and brought me breakfast. You know, they had those TV kosher breakfast. He would knock on my door and he says, Reb, it's Reb, have your breakfast. And you know what it is? He knew exactly when I go to sleep, when I wake up. And he was mamish pretended he doesn't know anything. He knows everything, right? But who cares? It was unbelievable. We had counted, we reached approximately 53,000 Eden.
Mm-hmm.
And Gewalt, you know what the acid test was, if it was good or not? Because when I was there, I invited people to come Shabbos to Shul. And you know, in Kiev, it was only there 2 Shabbases. So, and in Leningrad, we had the Shul, you know, Leningrad, the huge Shul. Have you no idea how many people came? I would say between 800 maybe and 1,500 people came to Shul. When you have to realize in those days, maybe 40 people came, 50. And they're sitting there and nothing. And it was fire, mamish fire.
What were the concerts like?
And in Kiev, we had 1,000 people in Shul and 500 outside who couldn't get in. The concert was fire. Fire is not the word. There was so much holiness, so much oneness. You know, a year later, the Union of Orthodox Congregations also made a music tour, and they invited me to come with them. But you know, it was sweet, it was good, but it was not on that spiritual level. You know, when I was there, like I was there with Jerry Katz, you know, from Los Angeles, the whole chavre. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. And haven't been back since. Really, it's heartbreaking. You know what it is? The establishment is unbelievable. But the establishment is never interested in the best. They always take the second best or third best. You know? And if you want to make sure that the establishment doesn't invite you, that's when you do it the best. The best of the best. How it is